House Musical Productions, Mary Poppins. Please take a moment to turn off all mobile phones, pagers? Who has a pager anymore? And smartwatches, yep, that's more current, smartwatches, as to not interfere with the magic of this show. Photography or videoing is not permitted throughout the performance. All right, now that's done and in order, you can enjoy the show. Cheerio, Governor.
In the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing and about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen all happened before. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son. The threads of their lives are all ravelling undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimney, chim chim, chari chim charoo.
Jane, let's run!
Get back, you little blighters! You've got to do your lesson!
I can't do my lessons if I'm flying high! And you can't make us! You're only our nanny!
Oi! Not you two again! Come along home! Oi! Come back here!
Good morning, Bert.
Morning, Miss Lark. And how's it Willoughby today?
Oh, very well. Thank you, Bert.
By Jove, is that the beauteous Miss Lark I spy on the horizon?
Oh, Admiral. Willoughby.
Morning, Admiral. How's it looking?
Well, dark clouds brewing at number 17. Storm warnings overdue.
Of all London's byways where I doffs me cap, this one's the hardest to find on a map. Cherry Tree Lane, as sweet as a song, but the nannies who come here, they don't stay for long. Chim chimney, chim chim, chari chim charoo.
Katie Nana!
Those little beasts have run away from me for the last time.
And who gets stuck with the children with no nanny in the house? Me, that's who!
I've had my say, Mrs. Brill, and that's all I'll say. I'm done with this house. Forever.
Well, good riddance then. And mind you don't stumble on the way out.
Katie Nana? Where are you going? Katie Nana? Oh,
Katie Nana's gone, and is it any wonder? Driven half demented by your children's pranks.
do you really think I made another blunder? What on earth am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, well, unlucky I suppose.
We are never going to find a perfect nanny. Nonsense!
precision and order. That's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Coach, the simple truth is you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart our children would gain from having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane.
Of course, George.
So take control of the situation. Use your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role. They know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase!
I thought Katie Nana was always firm with the children. She always looked so cross.
Winifred, dear, never confuse efficiency with a liver complaint. Now, brother!
If only we could find someone like your old nanny.
I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Very few women alive can manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we can never afford anybody of her caliber.
Precision and order, he wants nothing less.
It's like an army barracks.
Yes, and we're in the mess.
No wonder the nannies are driven insane. We're living in a metaphor in Cherry Tree Lane.
Winifred, if you do want to please me...
You know I do, George.
Very well. Then place this advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage.
We'd better get them out before they make another mistake.
Yes, and I would state the references are required.
Oh, what's that you're holding, dear?
We've written our own advertisements.
What on?
Oh, please, I think we should hear it.
Winifred, enough of your theatrics.
It won't hurt to listen.
Wanted a nanny for 2 adorable children.
Adorable. Well, that's debatable, I must say.
If you want this choice position, have a cheering disposition, rosy cheeks, no war. That's the part that I put in. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and fairly pretty.
What of all the ridiculousness?
Oh, please, George.
Take us on outings, give us treats. Sing songs, bring sweets. Never be cross or cruel. Never feed us castor oil or gruel. Love us as a son and daughter. And never smell of barley water. I put that bit in too. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can't see. Put toads in your bed or pepper in your tea. Hurry, Nanny, many thanks sincerely. Jane and Michael, thanks.
That's quite enough Tommy Rot for one day. Now would you two go upstairs and let me get to work?
They were only trying to help.
It won't help anybody to make me late. Now where's my hat?
Hat.
George, dear.
Hat?
Hat.
I thought you put it down here.
Hat.
I'm sure a bowler hat can't simply disappear.
You think I'll find a nanny who
There it is.
doesn't run away.
He's brushed it with boot polish.
Precision and order, that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain.
Whilst I remain the sovereign, mind you use the day well.
You remain the sovereign.
I shall turn at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains a sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane.
Good morning.
Yes?
I've come in answer to the advertisement.
What advertisement? We haven't placed an advertisement. Well, not yet.
George and Winifred Banks live here, do they not?
Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes.
And you are looking for a nanny?
Well, I suppose.
Very well, then, now, let's see. Play games, all sorts, which I most certainly can. Take us on outings, give us treats.
Michael, it's our advertisement.
Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty. There's no objection on that score, I hope.
No, none at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
But you'll have to take that up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. Mind you get the references.
I make it a rule never to give references.
But I thought it was usual.
A very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never require them now.
I see. You'll have every third Thursday evening off from 5 until 9.
The best people give every second Wednesday from 6 until late, Mum. And that is what I shall take.
Oh, well, it's all settled then.
Yes, well, as long as I am satisfied. I'll see the children now, thank you.
Of course. You'll find they're very nice children. 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 Shh. Now this is...
Mary Poppins. Jane, don't stare. And close your mouth, Michael. We are not a codfish. Best foot forward. Spit spot.
Mrs. Graham. We have a new nanny.
So she, passed her interview then?
Or I did.
I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who's responsible for that?
Mrs. Me. I am. I like to keep things neat.
Do you indeed? Well, I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Oh. And who is he when he's at home?
That's Valentine. He's mine.
By the look on his face, I am not sure he would agree with you.
He's just a doll, and I don't want to play with him now.
Treat him like that, and he might not want to play with you. Now, first things first. I always say the proper place to hang a hat. It's on a hat stand.
There's nothing in it. We'd better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. Mary Poppins, how could you know what we wanted in a nanny? When we made our list, we said
Your list? I am not an item in the weekly shop, thank you very much.
How did you come then? It was as if the wind just blew you here.
It did. Now stand over there. Just as I thought, a noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy.
You're making that up. A noisy, mischievous...
Now you. Thoughtless, short-tempered and untidy.
I don't believe you. Let me see.
By the time the wind has blown the weather vane around, I'll show you, if I can. No matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spit-spot, spick and span.
What about your measurement, Mary Poppins?
Oh. I'm practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
So people say. Each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great and patently sound. I'm practically perfect from head my manner refined, and I wear shoes of the sensible kind. I suffer no nonsense, and whilst I remain, there's nothing else I feel I need explain. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, that's my forte. Uncanny nannies are hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind. I'm practically perfect, not slightly soiled. Running like an engine that's just been freshly oiled. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Well, those are my credentials. Perhaps you have a few questions.
Not temperamental,
Never.
not grouchy or gruff.
Ready for thought.
Will you stay tender when the going gets tough?
Quite the contrary.
Do you read stories without a big fuss?
Mm-hmm.
Or have a chance to play with us?
I like games, but I choose them.
That's not fair!
Some minor improvements may not go amiss, but at all times you must remember this.
You're practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee
Stay perfect, we hope you'll stay.
each virtue virtually is no bound. Each trait is great
And fatally sound.
beautifully sounds. Yes, Spot? Jane, fix the dolls, please. I'll take my telescope, thank you.
It's not fair.
Oh, I didn't say I was fair. I said I was practically perfect. And here's my game. By the time I leave here, you both will be the same. You'll be practically perfect.
Practically perfect.
You will be practically perfect in every way. Let's put forward. Spit Spot.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim charoo. I does what I likes, and I likes what I do. Today I'm a screever, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree, and it's all me own work from me own memory.
Oh, lummy, not these again.
Oh, come on, Mr. Parkkeeper. It's just me pictures as it always is. There's no harm in them.
I'll be the judge of that. This is my park, and I say you're interfering with a public railing. I want them to move this that is... just you watch it. Just you watch it.
Stay right where you are. I know that silhouette anywhere. Mary Poppins!
It's nice to see you, Bert.
Well, I must say, you do look swell.
How does he know you? He can't know you. You've only just arrived.
I wasn't born 1 minute before I walked into your house, Michael Banks. Have you met these two, Bert?
Of course I have. I've seen them about chasing a kite.
Isn't it a real kite?
It isn't a real kite. So, what are you two up to?
Mary Poppins says it's a game. It's called A Walk in the Park. Some game I'd rather eat spinach.
Come on, Bert. You're due for a break, and you promised you'd take me out when we met again. Or had you forgotten?
Of course I ain't, Mary. But...
Oh dear. Is that all you've got? Never mind my treat. And no one's charging for the trees or the sky, are they?
Mary Poppins, he isn't really coming with us.
And why shouldn't he?
Well, to start with, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve.
What's that?
You can't come with us, you're too dirty, and we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway.
Oh, yes, you do. Because when you walk with Mary Poppins, you go to places you've never dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, she's got something in mind. You can be certain of that.
That's a picture of the park, isn't it? That's not the park. Not our park, anyway. Look, that tree's a much darker green, and the sky's quite a different blue. And of course...
I think you'll find it's just the way I've drawn it. All that it takes is a spark, and something plain as a park becomes a wonderland. All you have to do is look anew, then you'll understand. Why, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Mary makes your heart so light.
Oh, really?
When the day is grey and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright.
You do talk nonsense,
Oh,
Bert.
happiness is blooming all around her. The daffodils are smiling at the dark.
I haven't the faintest idea.
When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band.
You've enough brass for all of us.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love.
Boring, just like all the nannies thinking. Parks are good for us. It's just statues, ducks and grannies. I don't understand all the fuss. Is she doing it to spite us? We could lose her for our love. Perhaps it's all a plot. I'll tell you what, she seems so different, but I bet she's not. There is nothing to excite us in the park. What was that?
You're quite wrong, you know.
Who are you?
I'm Julius. But surely you know that. You've sat beneath me often enough. I've waited half a century to take a walk on a sunny day like this.
Ain't it a glorious day, right as the morning in May?
I feel like I could fly.
Have you ever seen the grass so green?
For a bluer sky.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. Better days I've never known.
You can ask the parts and statuary.
Nothing's ever set in stone. Morning, Mary.
Constable.
You do look tip-top, if I may say so, Mary.
Thank you, Bert. And you may.
Each man up with his dog will stand agog to see our statue take a gentle jog. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love.
It's a jolly holiday with you, Bert. Gentlemen like you are few. Though you're just a diamond in the rough, Bert, underneath your blood is blue. You'd never think of pressing your advantage. Forbearance is the hallmark of your creed. A lady needn't fear when you are near. Your sweet gentility is crystal clear.
It's crystal
Poppins, of course.
How do you know Mary Poppins?
She's an old friend of my father's.
Your father, you're a statue. You can't have a father.
Well, if that's true, why do I miss him so much?
Isn't he one of the other statues?
No, he lives far away from here.
Do you really miss him?
Wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly got to see him?
I'll have to think about that one.
Oh, that's it, that's what it was. What? The blimp's half empty. The statue's gone.
Wait a minute. You telling me you've lost your marbles?
Oh, this is that Mary Poppins' fault, ain't it? I knew we'd have trouble when you first arrived, and now we've got a statue missing. Oh, lummy!
Will you play with us again?
Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
Then we'll see you soon. Goodbye, Aelius.
Goodbye.
Aelius must be so lonely. Could his father ever come to stay?
Anything can happen if you let it.
How long will you stay?
We'll see.
You won't leave us, will you, Mary Poppins?
I shall stay until the wind changes. Now run along in.
Good night, Jane. Good night, Michael. Good night, Mary.
Good night, Bert.
Jane and Michael wish to say good night.
Tell them you've given me the message.
George, please.
Oh, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with the busker, danced with the statue, and met Queen Victoria. You wouldn't have approved, but we were just having so much fun.
If you know that, then why did you do it?
Daddy, could I have a kite? A proper one?
Could you fly it?
You could always teach me.
When would I have time to do that?
Daddy, who was the father of Aelius?
Would you let me get on? Good night.
Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites. And his beloved astronomy, of course.
I used to love astronomy at his age, too. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, soon beat it out of me.
I suppose we do need a nanny, George. It is out of the question to do without one.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course we need a nanny, so the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how's your tea party coming along?
Well, I'm not so sure. It seems so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know.
Ah, but they're people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged.
But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment, and I thought I might go and ask her.
I don't know how many times I have told you. I wish you would sever all connection with that part of your life.
George, I was an actress, you know. Lots of people might find that interesting. But you always talk to me as though I should be ashamed of it.
Well, it's not something you should be proud of. Winifred, dearest, I was only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you.
Yes, I know, George, but sometimes it's hard to be...
It's not hard. It's your job to be Mrs. Banks.
And what is your job?
To pay for everything. Ah! What is it?
I was only going to kiss you.
Oh, very well. Are you going to say something to Mary Poppins about this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Very well. Just make sure she's doing things our way, and not hers. What good are rules if you can bend them? We need a nanny who most disciplined and stern. With boys and girls, you don't befriend them. I'm afraid that Mary Poppins has a lot to learn.
Being Mrs. Banks should be an easy road, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home, I have a simple life, I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say no thanks. They're not exactly my idea of being Mrs. Banks.
I still feel as if I'm dreaming. So much fun in just one day. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. I'm sure Nearly is beaming. Let's hope she will stay. Good night, Neelius.
Let's hope she
will
Precision and order.
Winds do change, tides can turn, sink or swim, see what they learn. Me, I was told when I was small, just learn a trade, so I learnt them all. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim.
Morning, Bert. Swabbing the decks today, I see.
Gotta keep the street ship shape, Admiral.
Tell me, how are things aboard number 17? All plain sailing with Mary Poppins, I trust?
There's rough weather on every voyage, Admiral.
Ah, Miss Lark, what those children need is a touch of the cat and a night on the yard arm.
What those children need, Admiral, is a touch of happiness. Webby!
Mrs. Bryn? Sorry. Don't make the sandwiches too early. They'll get stale before the guests arrive.
Everything's under control, Mom.
And what about the cake?
Cooling on the tray, waiting to be iced.
And you're quite sure you know how to ice it?
Quite sure. And in case you're worried, I have not been exchanged by the fairies for a total nincompoop!
No.
No.
Well, I'll just go up and check the drawing room.
I would like to be helpful.
And I would like to be rich, but the good Lord thought otherwise.
Mother wants me in the drawing room.
Well, she can't have me. I've enough of me plate as it is.
She says you can tell Robinson A what to do.
Oh, she does she? Well, why don't I go have a smoke near the gasworks for good measure?
Please, Mrs. Brill, I don't mind. Honest.
All right. I'll give you one task and one task only, and so help me, if you get this wrong, I'll swing for you and sing as they pull the lever.
What is it, Mrs. Brill?
Take the icing tools and put them next to the cake.
Cake.
And I need a bowl of hot water to warm them. I'll ice the cake when I get back. Do you think you can manage all that?
Is that all?
For me, no! Once the cake's done, I'll have the sandwiches next, because Madam wants them fresh, which means I can't start them until there's no time to finish them. I swear, a slave in ancient Rome was on a pleasure cruise compared to my life in this house.
Well, don't just stand there, Robinson, eh?
Right. No.
What are you looking for?
A bowl for the hot water. Bowl.
Michael, why don't we make the icing?
Because we don't know how to.
Don't be so feeble. Get the eggs. If Mrs. Brill can do it, it can't be that hard.
Are there eggs in icing?
There are in mine.
I don't think Mrs. Brill will thank you.
Then she will be guilty of great ingratitude.
Is it supposed to look like that?
Oh, it does not look like that when Mrs. Brill does it.
Don't be impertinent and get me the cake.
Oh! Honestly, Miss Jane, I was only trying to be helpful.
Did you see that? Get ready now.
What have you done? Robert's and I. Oh, Robert's and I. Oh, shall I call a doctor?
I don't think that would be necessary, Mum.
How can you be so unkind when you know how important my party is? You deserve some very nasty medicine. Just you wait until bedtime.
Oh, I don't think we should wait until then, Mum. Why not go up and get changed? We'll clear up here, won't we?
But I'm not ill and I won't take it and you can't make me.
In that, as in so many things, your information is faulty. Open.
But strawberry ice.
Now you.
I'm not sure I like strawberry ice.
I'm not sure I care. Open.
Lime cordial.
Now, off we go, you two. Michael, I know you like to keep things neat. Jane.
I told you she was tricky. Must we? Can't Robinson A do it when he wakes up? He is a servant.
With that attitude, you'll get through a lot of stuff before you're very old. Besides, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You'll find the fun and snap. The job's a game, and every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. My point exactly. The honeybees that fetch the nectar from the flower to the comb never tire of ever buzzing to and fro, because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind. For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Spit hot. Rum punch. My favorite.
worker. How on earth did you get them to do it? Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. So, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine go down.
The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. In the most delightful
We must be off, Mum. Let's go forward. Come upstairs. It's ridiculous. Get upstairs. Oh, Miss Banks. Not too sure what happened there. Just get me fresh. Oh, sorry, Mum. These came for you this morning.
Robertson A forgot to give him to you.
They're apologies, Mum, from your guests. They're not coming. None of them.
Do you think we chose the wrong day?
I think you chose the wrong people.
In a most delightful way.
Mary Poppins, where are we going today?
I thought we could play our next game.
What game?
A visit to the bank.
That's not a game. Did Daddy agree? If he did, you must have put it into his head somehow.
What an impertinent thing to say. Me putting ideas into other people's heads. Really?
Precision and order, cogs in a wheel, opening a ledger, closing a deal, prudence, investment, financial sense, our perfect ray of sunshine, pounds, shillings, and pence.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning. Great men have dreams of power and position, and it's our job to back them to the hilt. For shrewd investment and advice, they'll pay our price.
The bedrock on which banks are built.
Banks, the word! I see Herr von Hustler is coming in again today. Have you made your decision? I believe so, sir. Good, good. Make sure it's the right one. I won't let you down, sir.
In every transaction, credit or debt, sheets are all well balanced, targets are met.
Herr Banks, what objections can you have? My security is more than adequate, and Latin America is an expanding market. What is the matter? Have you no courage?
But, Mr. von Hustler, what I haven't been able to grasp is, what exactly is your final product?
What do you think? Money, of course.
Yes, of course, money. But I wonder, making money out of money, is it really enough?
Are you man enough to be a banker? A man has dreams of building an empire, to make his name in many distant lands. And in the new world I am told will soon strike gold, then seize a chance with both our hands.
Assessing
Have you come to your decision, Mr. Banks? Oh, there's a town of good people whose future depends on your hands.
I know that, and
Give us this chance. You won't regret it. Oh, the factory could be running in 3 weeks and expanding before the year's out. Oh, please, Mr. Banks. I'd give it everything I've got. Believe me.
I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook, and I've tried to find a way, but there just simply isn't the collateral.
What about my workforce? Decent men who want a better life. They're my collateral. My men have dreams to earn an honest living. A wife and kids, an home to call their own. If you'd invest in us today, it paves our way. I promise we'd repay the loan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Northbrook, but What on earth are you doing here? Can't you see that I'm busy?
No, we're done. And no man should be too busy for his own children anyway. What are you here for, young man? Have you come for some money as well?
Hardly. What would they need money for?
Well, it's never too early to learn its value.
I know the value of this. 6pence.
No, that's its worth. Its value is in how you spend it. Do good, and may you have good luck.
And what do you say to Mr. Northbrook?
Thank you.
I'll wait outside.
I'm going to have the permit.
Really, Mary Poppins, I am not without a sense of humour.
Aren't you, Daddy?
No, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would have never have dared interrupt my father.
Were you ever a little boy?
Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way. And he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't.
What about your mother?
Well, I don't think I saw either of them more than once a week.
Didn't they mind?
Mind? They were glad to be rid of me.
Then who kissed you goodnight? Miss Andrew?
No, certainly not. There was never any time for hugs and kisses and all that soppy nonsense. And what's the matter?
Poor Daddy.
Poor? Poor? That's what made me the man I am today, eh, Mary Poppins?
Yes, I'm afraid it did.
All right, you've seen where I work. I have a great deal to do.
Daddy, when you invest in the bank's money, what are you looking for? A good man? Or a good idea?
I suppose I should say a good idea, but a good man is much rarer, much more valuable.
Come along, children.
Mr. von Hustler, I've considered your arguments, but I'm afraid my answer is no.
So, you don't recognize a good idea, then?
No, but I recognize a good man when I see one.
You will regret this, Herr Banks.
A man with dreams that life hasn't broken. A man with hopes, ambitions to fulfill. A man you're certain at first glance deserves a chance. Now, Mr. Northbrook, when exactly could you get the factory open?
Thank you, sir. You won't regret it.
Feed the birds, twopence a bag, twopence, twopence, twopence a bag.
There's that horrible old woman.
Don't point. And for your information, she is not in the least horrible.
But she's just a bundle of rags.
When will you learn to look past what you see?
Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes. In her own special way to the people she calls. Come, buy my bags full of crumbs.
Come feed the little bird, show her you care, and you'll be glad if you do. Their young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare. All it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies.
What are you doing? Giving her my sixpence? What a waste!
That's a matter of opinion. Here. One bag, please. Save your sixpence. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see them, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
All gone.
Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a
Oh, really? That bad, eh? Well, you can tell her yourself, because here she comes now.
Isn't that Miss Lark's dog Willoughby?
Don't interrupt when somebody's barking. You were saying? Really? Well, if she keeps running off like that, perhaps it would be best if you kept her on a lead.
Willoughby!
Here she comes now.
Oh, Willoughby. It's all right. Mummy's here. You know, sometimes you'd almost think he could talk.
But can Willoughby really talk?
Of course he can. Getting him to stop's the problem.
How do you learn short dog?
How do you think? Master the grammar
Practice when you can.
and avoid mongrels.
Far too much slang.
Oh no, come along. We can't stand here all day talking shop.
Talking shop? What a silly expression.
There's nothing silly about it in the least.
What do you buy in a talking shop?
Conversations, of course.
Well, I've never seen a talking shop.
Well, there is only one, and it belongs to Mrs. Corrie.
Who's Mrs. Corrie?
Who's Mrs. Corrie? Mrs. Corrie is older than anybody in the entire world. She talked to William before she went to conquering, to Vlad before he went impaling, and to Alexander when he went so great.
We'll have to call at her shop in the park.
There is no shop in the park.
Remember, anything can happen if you let it. Good day to you, Mrs. Corrie.
Now, if it isn't Mary Poppins. With Jane and Michael Banks.
She knows us.
Oh, and how's poor little Georgie?
Who?
Georgie Banks, your father. He used to give his nanny the slip and come into my shop here in secret.
That can't have been the same George Banks. That was 40 years ago, and no one can remember back that far.
Listen, dearie, I remember everything. I remember Georgie used to love my gingerbread. I wonder if we've got any left today. Now, where are those lazy daughters of mine? Annie, Fanny, come, look lively. Yes, Mother. There you are, gingerbread pieces with gingerbread stars. No. Georgie always saved his stars. Now, Mary Poppin, what can I do for you?
Well, I did want an ounce of conversations.
Well, I'm out of conversation and I'm right out of words too. You see, I've had a lot of chatterboxes in here today, but let me see what we have left. Oh, I do have some letters and a little bit of back chat. Okay, an ounce you say. That'll be 15 letters. Go on, take your pick.
Jane, you can choose 7.
I got a D, G, R, U, C, L, and I. They're no good. You can't make a conversation out of them.
Your turn, Michael. 7 more.
I got an A, F, S, E, T, O, and P.
And I'll choose an X. Oh, yes. Now, what words can we make?
Well, I see dog and cat.
Ratoplex, that's 9.
Lepidopterus, that's 11. Nearly there.
Those don't count. You made them up.
And where do you think words come from in the first place? Golly gosh, somebody had to make them up.
You know, you can always use the same letter more than once. Now, let me see. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's not a word.
Of course it's a word, and unless I'm very much mistaken, I think it's going to prove to be a rather useful one. When trying to express oneself, it's frankly quite absurd to leaf through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
But it doesn't mean anything.
It can mean exactly what you want it to. When Stone Age men were chatting, simply grunting would suffice.
Though if they heard this word, they might have used it once or twice.
I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have grasped it in a jiff. Then every single pyramid would bear this hieroglyph. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Say it and wild animals would not seem so ferocious.
Had some further flourishes, it's so precocious.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Um-diddly-lum-diddly, 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 um-diddly-lum-diddly.
The Druids would have carved it on their mighty monoliths.
The ancient Greeks, I'm certain, would have used it in their midst.
I'm sure the Roman Empire only entered the abyss because those Latin scholars never had a word like this.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
If you say it softly, the effect can be hypnosis.
Check your breath before you speak in case it's halitosis.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Um-diddly-lum-diddly, 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 um-diddly-lum-diddly.
Of course, you can say it
it backward. Which is suyo ecodeli pizzacatilla creepus.
She may be tricky, but she's bloody good.
So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
Break out those 18 consonants and 16 vowels as well, and put them in an order which is very hard to spell.
S
S
U
U
P
P
E
E
R
R
C A L I F
F
R A G I L I S T I C E X P I A L I D O C I O U S.
Smarty Pants.
S U P E R C A L I F R A G I L I S T I C E X P I A L I D O C I O U S S U P E S U P E C A L I C A L I R A G I R A G L I S T I C E X P I A L I D O C I O U S S U P E S U P E R C A L I R A G I R A G L I S T I C E X P I A L I D O C I O U S.
Here we go.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic.
Supercalifragilistic.
Supercalifragilistic. The winds may blow, but who's to know exactly what they're bringing? Good news or bad, happy or sad, the pendulum keeps swinging.
Right. Put the steps there and stand back.
Right.
You are never to go near that vase, nor anyone else but me neither.
Right.
That is a heirloom.
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 And while I do this, stay totally immobile.
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 Do not move a muscle.
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 Muscle!
Do not breathe. Do you hear me? give me any ideas.
A game is played, a change is made, but still the road is long. And though they might still fly a kite, sometime the wind's too strong.
George, what's happened? Are you ill?
No. Should I be?
Well, of course not. Only why on earth are you home so early? Is everything all right?
No, everything's all wrong.
My dear, what is it?
Well, if you must know...
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down.
If you must know, I refused a German chap a loan at the bank. Seems he went to our chief rivals. They gave him the money and, well, it turned into a gold mine.
Well, they can't expect you to get it right every time.
Can't they? That's exactly what they expect.
Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud
That is
enough,
quite loud enough. Go to your room.
But we were just...
I don't care what you adjust. Upstairs now. Where's my briefcase? I just put it here. Michael, Jane, would you give it to me? Must I put up with this behavior? You're their mother. Can't you do something about it?
Well, I can try not shouting for a start.
Mary Poppins, you're here to teach these children manners. And just look at them. They're a pair of little savages. If I had my way, you'd be out of this house and...
George! You're tired. Mary Poppins, don't bring the children down tonight. Mr. Banks is quite exhausted. Perhaps you could keep them occupied.
I hope you hadn't forgotten, Mum. Tonight's my evening out.
What? Oh, dear, I had forgotten. I suppose the best people wouldn't ask you to change your plans.
No, Mum, they wouldn't.
I thought not.
That's not fair! Daddy loses his temper when we're shut up in the nursery. Daddy's mean and rotten and I hate him!
Jane, take that back this instant. I will not have you criticise your father.
Why not? He criticises you. Last week he said you were neither use nor ornament.
How dare you?
I heard him say it and so did you.
Sometimes people say things they don't mean. Take the children upstairs, please, Mary Poppins. George?
What is it?
I thought you might like to talk about it.
What would be the point?
Perhaps I can help.
Don't be ridiculous.
George, I'm serious. If you have troubles, I'd like to share them.
Oh, you share them. The fact is, I've been suspended without salary until a bank have decided what to do with me.
Twists and turns, ups and downs. One moment smiles, next moment frowns. But bad-tempered faces better change quick. 'Cause when the wind changes, the face might just stick. Chim chimney, chim chim, chari chim charu.
It's not fair. You're going out and get left on our own.
You've plenty of toys to play with.
I don't want to. They're boring.
They might say the same about you.
Why does Daddy get so cross? Fathers are supposed to look after their children, not yell at them all the time.
Maybe. But have you asked yourself, who looks after the fathers when things go wrong?
The mothers, I suppose.
Not the children.
Wouldn't that be rather upside down?
Sometimes families are upside down. For a while, anyway.
I don't want to be in an upside-down family. I wish I could run away. Why don't you? Somebody might adopt you. But you'd miss me. No, I wouldn't. I could have your toys. No, you could not. Yes, I could, and I jolly well would. Give that to me! Now look what you've done!
That is no way to treat Valentine. What has he ever done to you?
He's just a doll, silly. He couldn't do anything.
That's it, you two. Now into bed at once.
But we haven't had our
There'll
milk.
be no buts and no milk either. If you can't be good, you may as well be sorry.
I wish you'd just leave us alone!
Be careful of the things that you wish for. Poor Valentine. Here, go inside and make yourself presentable.
Well, I won't go to sleep and you can't make me.
In that, as in so many things,
Your information
is faulty. Playing the game, taking your turn. Some children lose, some children learn. Treat the toys nicely and maybe they'll treat you the same. Playing the game. Are you feeling any better, Valentine?
Much better, thank you.
Tempers are frayed, tempers are lost. Nobody stops to think of the cost.
But they tore my arm again.
Oh dear. Children who lose their temper will lose everything else in the end.
They're not playing the game, not playing fair, not with the doll, nor with the bear.
Thrown on the floor and neglected, and they were to blame. Playing the game.
Please tell them, Mary Poppins.
Why don't you tell them?
What's going on? What's happened to all the toys? Make them go scolding, get back in their box!
Why? You've hurt them and called their names. Now it's their turn. Some in the toys. Now is the time to tell of your woes, to tell of their crime. Crime! Crime! Come on, come on. Enter the fray. They need to hear what you have to say.
Girls and boys, who treat us this way, don't deserve fun, so why should we stay? They stamp and shout, create such a fun. They need to learn.
You think you know everything!
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Jane?
They're our toys and we'll do what we like with them! So there!
So there, indeed. Playing the game, having a ball. Those who won't play shan't play at all. We miss maybe when they've learned to play the game. Is that you, Bert?
Up where the smoke is all billowed and curled, between pavement and stars is the chimney sweep's world, where there's hardly no day or are they no night? There's things up in shadows and halfways in light on the rooftops of London. Cool! What a sight!
Oh, so you're a sweep now, are you?
Best view in the world, eh? Who gets to view it? The birds, the stars, and the chimney sweeps. Nothing to beat it, eh? Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you may think I sweeps on the bottommost rung. Though I spend me life in the ashes and smoke, in this all-white world, there's no happier bloke. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheroo.
Good luck will rub off when he shakes hands with you.
Or blow me a kiss.
Bert?
And that's lucky too. Oh, so you're going then?
The wind has changed.
But they're good kids, Mary.
Would I be bothering with them if they weren't? But I can't help them if they won't let me. And there's no one so hard to teach as a child who knows everything.
So,
they've got to do the next bit on their own.
chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree.
When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Goodbye, Bert.
Chim, 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 cheree. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them two sings chim, chim, cheree, chim, cheroo. Chim chimney, chim chim, cheree, chim cheroo.
Bert! Keep an eye on them for me.
She can't have left us. Oh yes, she can. And she's taken all our toys. What does the note say?
What in heaven's name are you two doing out here? Where's Mary Poppins?
Gone.
Gone? Doesn't that take the bloomin' biscuit?
Mrs. Brill, what does au revoir mean?
Why?
Because that's what it says in this note. Dear Jane and Michael, keep playing the games. Au revoir, Mary Poppins.
Well, it's French, I know that much. Does it mean good luck or God bless you or no, I remember, until we meet again. Now get inside before you catch your death.